Well, Camera Mendy, it's chaos this morning, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I availed myself of some birthday pie.
Very nice.
Yes.
What kind of birthday pie?
So it's apple pie, apple toffee, I believe. Dear Tanya got it for me because this is my birthday week, as you know. So
yes, indeed. Oh, hi.
And cheers to anyone else who has a birthday right now.
You know, this is the problem with setting up the camera when you're not in the chair, is that it's very hard to frame you the way that I want.
I feel like there's something on my mustache.
I always go up high. You're like right in the center of the frame. I have cords coming down behind you.
It's a debacle.
It is a debacle.
And I wanted to wear Marcus's robes today, and I was so late that I couldn't do it, so I'll wear them next week.
Yes, indeed. Anyway.
Well, hello, friends. It is good to see you all. Happy Saturday.
This is what Geeky says. Low budget production, high value people.
Oh, we love you, Geeky.
Thank you, Geeky.
Mwah.
We appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely. So the thing is, here's the deal. So it is snowing here in Colorado Springs, so this created a little bit of consternation already for us this morning. Then Camera Mendy forgot her hat. Show yourself, Camera Mendy.
Oh, let me.
She had a Disney beanie that she wished to wear today.
So now I know. Okay, so here's the thing about the Disney beanie. I had to buy one out of necessity because it was actually very cold in Florida this week. And but every time I saw myself with the beanie on, I'd be like, dang, I look good in a beanie. Like, dang, I look good in a beanie. So I wanted to show it to you all.
I look so good, baby.
No one has ever claimed that I was humble, okay? So, including myself. Anyway, so I wear it next week so that way y'all can see like
how cool Camera Mendy looks in a
I'm
beanie.
genuinely thinking it needs to be a new look. I just need to be like, I'm almost 40. I'm gonna just become the beanie girl.
Beanie Mendy.
Yes, exactly. Anyway.
I'm not doing another portrait, Camera Mendy. You have had more portraits done than anyone else.
Could you imagine?
No, we are not doing a beanie, Camera Mendy.
That is so funny.
No, we are
That
not.
is so funny. Okay, anyway. We have a great show. We have Suzanne and Ben on, and I want to bring them on because we're already at 6 minutes in.
6 minutes in. I hope we didn't lose everyone.
My cord is like weird. This is all weird. Everything was wrong when I got into the studio this morning. Someone took my mouse. Someone took my mouse.
That's uncool.
I'm just saying, I need to send out an email to the office, and I'll say, whoever took my mouse, just put it back and I won't be mad at you.
Yeah, well, it ain't right.
And then I'll put a camera up so I can see who returns my mouse.
And you know what? Again, Ms. Goo called me a ragamuffin this morning because I still haven't gotten the haircut and beard trim.
I mean, it is.
But I'm thinking it's starting to feel a little, I mean, that's not bad, Camera Mendy. Look, I mean, it's well shaped.
We're very, having the self-confidence this morning. Okay, so how old are you now?
63.
Aww. Aww.
I remember when I held you when you were just a little baby.
Yes, I remember when you were holding me, and I was just...
No, you don't.
Not a little baby, but I rember when,
Oh, yeah, when you got older,
Yeah,
we read stories. Remember we would read stories and with Mikey and Kimmy and your brothers and sisters?
Okay.
Your brother and sisters?
Before I forget, though,
yes,
because people are talking about beanies in the chat. I know Lawrence is watching. If you don't already have a Gooey Cube beanie, we need to get a Gooey Cube beanie.
Well, we could do that, but this is more important.
What's more important?
Bingo cards. Everybody's got to get their bingo cards.
Yeah, Lawrence is in the
not
chat.
Know about that.
Lawrence is in the chat. He has the apparently we hit a bingo card slot already by being late. So.
Oh yeah, yes. One of the bingo card slots is we start late.
Yes.
So that's there's one of the slots. So all of y'all should have at least one.
Stacey is saying a snail beanie. That would, if we put escargot on a beanie, take Chet's escargot and put him on a beanie. I'm just saying. Oh,
it would look great.
Yes. Okay.
But only like 20 people would buy it. All you snail people.
Well, that's fine. Only 20 people buy our stuff anyway. Neil has like a whole collection, and so does Rick. So, okay, let's get Suzanne and Ben on because I want to talk about
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. And they've been sitting so kindly in the background while we got all this stuff going.
In the background. Hey!
Hello.
Oh, I can't hear them.
Bill?
I didn't put
you need to put Alphinius needs to put in his headphones so he can hear you.
Well, that would be good if I had a headphone, Camera Mendy.
Okay, I need to go find Alphinius' headphone. Hold for a second.
By the gods, Camera Mendy, who has them in here?
Suzanne.
No, I found it. I've got it.
Oh, you found it? Okay. I was like, start talking. Fifth for time. Listen, these two are pros. We did interviews with them a couple weeks ago for their podcast, WiscoDice, which we're going to talk all about today. But I mean, you guys got the setup. You got it going on. So, and the podcast sounded great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, I can hear now.
Okay, you got it?
Excellent.
Ben, I just want to tell you.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, that hat is terrible.
This hat is exceptional.
I agree.
It is what every proper wizard should wear.
That's the one that has the map on it, right?
Yeah, it's got the map, right?
Yes,
That's
I
the
will.
map.
I will always find my way to a certain fiery mountain.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, show it a little. Put it a little closer to the camera so people can see it, and then tell them about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we got this at a Ren Fair here in Wisconsin, and I don't remember what the name of the place was. Do you remember, Suzanne?
Yeah, it's a Blonde Swan.
Yeah, so you can
Yeah.
actually order it online from Blonde Swan if you want to. They'll put whatever. We asked them about getting a map of Zyathé on one. Well, we just asked them if we get a custom map on one, and they said they do it. So if you reach out to Blonde Swan and say, hey, we want a map of Zyathé on it, they'll probably help you figure it out.
Put it on there.
Blonde
Marvelous.
Swan is actually where, so the classic Mandy hat, the
Oh, really?
wizard's hat.
The original wizard's hat's where you
Yeah,
got it from?
that one is Blonde Swan as well. And I agree. Harry says they make excellent hats, and it is exceptional quality.
Just make sure everyone understands that it's Blonde Swan.
Yes.
BLOND.
Mhm.
No
And
E.
They're at Gen Con, and they're at Renaissance fairs all over the country. They come to the Colorado Renaissance Fair. They have a booth there. And genuinely,
We got to take the team this year and go as a group. Like
Okay.
take half a day off and
We've
sneak
been
out of
saying
the
this for
office.
5 years
I
now.
know. It's
You can't
really-
take a day off. It's only on Saturday and Sunday. So
I thought they did Fridays too.
nope, it's Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Okay. Lawrence has put the Etsy link in
Very good.
for Blonde Swan.
Excellent.
So
All right,
but,
so
yeah.
Suzanne, Ben, tell us about WiscoDice and all this stuff that how this happened and how it began and your podcast and all of that stuff.
Well, we started, back in 2012, pushing around little toy soldiers and wanted to talk about it on an audio show. Then COVID happened and a certain company destroyed our miniature game that we were talking about. So we sat down and kind of talked about it and what are we going to do with this thing, and rebranded ourselves as a tabletop gaming show and branched out from just an audio podcast, which we still do. You can find us everywhere, whether it's iTunes or Stitcher Smart or wherever, Audible podcasts, Amazon, wherever you want to find podcasts, on YouTube, etc. But we also launched a YouTube channel about 2 years ago, primarily focused on board games. We do RPG content as well. We occasionally have interviews from various publishers and creators like yourselves on the show, and blog. We feature one of our big things on the blog at WiscoDice.com is we feature a weekly series on Mondays called Kickstart Monday, where we feature 2 or more crowdfunding projects. So that we do our research, we do our diligence to find if the crowdfunding projects are one, the companies are likely to deliver. We've seen good track records of history with them, and that we're excited to back ourselves. So we're not recommending products that that we're not interested in. So if you don't want to have to seep through crowdfunding, whether there's way too many places to find crowdfunding for your games these days, you can follow us every Monday for our recommendations instead.
Yeah, and then another thing that we do is we go to several conventions and run lots of games there because we enjoy running games and talking to everyone, anything about gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, Conesy's been running some RPG games at few conventions.
Mm-hmm.
I run mostly tabletop board games. And then if you're in the Madison area, we have several meetups during the month that we coordinate. So
Yeah.
So
Should we
Suzanne,
go
do
to-
you-
we're,
Suzanne, do you RPG more or do you do board game more?
I do more board gaming.
Mhm.
I only have to have very little experience with RPGs. And when I met you 3 years ago, I told you if I ever did an RPG, it would be a Gooey Cube for the first time. And that's what I'm doing right now is when the Conesy is DMing. So, yep, you hooked me. I want to do more now.
The thing that we've believed always from the beginning, and we talked a little bit about this on your stream, is, the most important person to capture the imagination first is the game master. And part of that is creating materials that are engaging and interesting for the game master rather than sort of just creating, in my mind, rather than just creating instruction manuals. And I do believe that is one of the things that has helped us with our fandom is a little bit, just going a little bit the extra mile to really make it a fun read for the game masters. So some people, Andrew, I know you're out there. Some people don't like the fact that we don't always give away everything all at once, right? But part of that is a little bit giving some mystery and fun for the game master as well. Now, I do agree that there have been times where we could, Andrew's right, where we could have been a little more forthcoming, and we probably should have been. But I think for the game master to be reading through these things and all of a sudden their imaginations are fired and all of that stuff. So you make my day, Suzanne. Thank you so much for saying so. So what are you going to be doing here with
Well, before we move on to that, though, I want to plug that a lot of this is covered in the interview that we did with them
yes, you should
on
watch
their website.
You should check their podcast out. It's great.
So, and I'll see if I can find the link for that. I should have had that ready, but again, the missing.
It's just one of those
the missing mouse.
You have no mouse.
But yeah, Suzanne, you talked very graciously about how GUI materials have really enhanced your gaming experience, and it meant a lot to us to hear that. So, okay, Lawrence is finding the link for us.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us. So 2012, we continue onward. We hit COVID. Then everything changes, right? And I mean, you've gotten quite a following now at this point. Yes, you've got quite a number of people. People check you out. You get
it's definitely been growing steadily, our following, and we interact with a lot of, like, you know, we're not in the thousands of 10,000s of followers yet, but I feel like we've got a great following where we're interacting and our followers are interacting with each other. So it's this really nice community, I feel. That we've got going on.
Yeah, community building both locally as well as online, right? That's a big focus for us. We're really committed to trying not to charge for content, whether it's to publishers or our audience, and we try to build community through shows like our Board Games and Coffee, which we do pretty regularly, things like Kickstart Monday, where we're trying to give back to the community and help them out. That's really our goal, and that's what we do. And I'm going to say, if you want to hear more RPG content, you need to go make sure you download that episode and listen to that episode where we interview the GUI folks for
right.
And so
that was a fun experience.
Cameron Mandy was drinking during that stream, so this has become a more regular occurrence of late.
Oh my gosh! Listen, I want to.
We're from Wisconsin. We're used to drinking.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I was gonna have one of those mysterious what do they call them? Cocktails, I think, for this, but
it's
still before
morning.
noon here.
Yes. So last night, Ms. Goo and I went out for a little after birthday just date together, the two of us.
I'm going to say, whenever you accuse me of drinking, it is generally always followed off by Miss Goo and I made merry last night. So anyway,
so we had a couple of cocktails ourselves. You know, it was a lot marvelous. So all right, so
I want to before we move on from Wisconsin though, Ben is going to be game mastering for us at GaryCon. Ben has game mastered for us. How many times before was it? Did you start at Gen Con or have you had it?
I started at Gen Con this year.
Yes, and we're excited to have you back again for Gen Con, hopefully.
We're going to have cool stuff at GaryCon.
Yeah, yes. It's exciting. Yeah, GaryCon's going to be a lot of fun.
You're going to bring terrain with you. Very nice.
It's literally a car drive for me because it's like an hour and a half away. So we'll definitely be bringing terrain for this one.
Yes. Well, if you're coming to GaryCon, check out the schedule is going to go live here, I think, any day for VIPs and scheduling. Yeah. And you'll see Ben game mastering 4 games for us at
and just so everyone knows, pretty much at every convention we go to, we sell out fast. Yes. I mean, every once in a while we leave a few. Now we're not doing the game show at GaryCon. It's just not big enough. We tried it that one year and it just wasn't. The people didn't know. So. But we are doing lots of wonderful games, and obviously Ben is running them. So are you going to run some board games at GaryCon, Suzanne, or are you just going to have fun?
Yeah, I haven't really decided yet. It's still a little up in the air, trying to work out schedules for work and the dog and everything. So.
Well, that's true, because you're trying to figure out babysitting and all of those kinds of things, and figuring out, and of course boarding is expensive. You put your doggy up if you don't have someone to take care of the puppers, so.
Mostly got to wrangle the daughter. That's mostly what
we just got to convince our daughter to stay home for the weekend and watch the dog.
Honey, watch the dog. Mom, Dad.
And most importantly, stay out of trouble. Don't burn the house down.
Yeah.
So I will tell a tale out of school. So when I was in school, in college, my parents went away to Europe, and I decided to have a keg party at their house.
Wait, is this the one where you met Aunt Diane?
It is the one where I met Ms. Goo.
Okay.
Yes.
So it has a happy ending.
So have I told this before? I don't know if I told this before.
I knew it from.
So this is a big deal
Mm-hmm.
because this is how the trajectory of life can be altered dramatically by one moment of bad decision making. So my friends and I put this keg party together to have at my house where my parents were gone. I'm sure I'm making you very comfortable right now about going to GaryCon. So we put out modest numbers of invitations. But when we were doing that, we were realizing that there were way too many men on the list and not enough women. This was very important to us to have a few more women. And at the same day that we were putting the list together, I happened to get a Christmas card in the mail because it was around Christmas time. And I opened up this Christmas card. It was from this girl that I had known named Diane. And I had not seen her nor heard from her in probably 2 or 3 years. And I was like, Diane, she's a woman. She'll come to the party. So we invited Diane to come to the cake party. Now, somehow the word spread about this cake party. And there was 250 people packed into my parents' house, drinking, conniving. The place was destroyed. However, I did not care because Diane was there. And that was the beginning of our relationship, all because I decided to have an illicit keg party at our home when my parents were in Europe.
So any children listening, you might meet the one if you
Yeah.
throw a illegal keg party at your parents' house while they're on vacation.
I would bet that only about 20% of the people in the place were actually of legal drinking age as well. So this was really not a good
Don't
situation.
admit that on camera.
Oh, come on, Andy. We all
know.
have bad things in our past. Right, Ben? I'm sure you've done something bad in your past. Look, he's
A
not.
little
he's not
bourbon
saying
in the
it.
bottle is fine.
Apparently, this was a bingo card square. Mark it off, folks. Alphinius goes off on a wild tangent.
That was a wild tangent.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of sweet. Anyway, all right. So,
I have a question for
all
Ben.
right, go.
Because he lives in Wisconsin. You both live in Wisconsin. Did you guys both grow up there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Did living in the birthplace of D&D, did that have any effect on your learning about TTRPGs or the community around it?
I'm going to say for myself, yes, absolutely. I mean, we were exposed to that in grade school. I mean, I grew up very rural Wisconsin, so there wasn't like a game store or a bookstore, but even way back in the day here in Madison, a game store got founded called Pegasus Games, which is still there here today. It's been there for, I don't know, 40, 50 years or 30 years. I don't know, however long. It's been there forever. But it started because of the big gaming scene and it is just magnified now. So we have a massive gaming scene, and it absolutely did impact me. Absolutely. I mean, I was chucking dice at a very early age.
Yeah.
So
Even if they were the blue ones that you colored in with crayons.
Yes, I remember that. And so obviously, Suzanne, you're not really an RPGer, but have you been board gaming since you were a kid?
I have been sort of. I did not necessarily grow up with have a lot of acquaintances that were into board gaming or RPGs. So I think that's why I was kind of sheltered from the RPGs until Conzi and I got together here. But board games, I always enjoyed them. I would just kind of play them by myself as all the different players. A lot of times in my parents' basement. So unless I could force someone to play with me. So.
Yeah.
I've got a very good tangent story that I think our listeners have probably heard me tell a few times, but
Oh gosh.
about how we met online, and so we're to the point where we swapped cell phone numbers and we're texting back and forth, and Kickstarter shows up for an expansion to Cthulhu Wars. Now the Wave 2 expansion was 45 pounds ship weight, so I send her this text message, and we haven't met yet, keep in mind. Hey, I just got this expansion to a board game I own. It's 45 pounds ship weight. What do you think? And she responds back, I mean, doesn't hesitate. Like, there's no pause. When do we play? And at that point, I knew I had to keep her.
Aww.
Yeah, that's magnificent. And then you played Cthulhu.
It's still one of my favorite games. I enjoy playing a lot with him and stuff. And it's, I mean, you make up the stories with the with your Cthulhu monsters as they're going around. So it's, it's RPG adjacent.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we have Jeff Richard who lives here in Colorado with us, and he'll be, of course, at Genghis-Con, which we're about to go to here in just a few weeks. Very exciting. So, and I'm sure he's going to be in the game show, right? You got that hooked up, cameraman?
I need to still message Jeff.
Oh,
I know I'm behind on the. I just got the big stuff. We'll go over the Genghis-Con stuff after we get off the
deep trouble.
Call with you guys. So, when it comes to your podcast, do you guys each have specific roles that you take for running it, or do you guys do most of it together?
It kind of varies depending on who has the time kind of meeting up. I do not do any of the editing though. That is not a forte for me.
Yeah. For the audio show, we have a team of 4 that get together and regularly record. And then when we do interviews, it's usually the 2 of us plus whoever we're interviewing. Find like 3 or 4 voices are usually pretty good for an audio show. Mm-hmm. And then, so the others will help share with some of the editing, but I pretty much do most of the major behind the scenes legwork. Suzanne handles most of our marketing, social media, and making sure that I actually don't forget to do things. Mostly keeping me in line.
So Suzanne, I really want to go on a rant right now about the fact that I can't invite anyone on Facebook in our group to Goo Morning Zyathé anymore because it now limits my invites. Now this morning or yesterday was 50. The maximum number of the 3,000 people in our group I can invite to the Goo Morning Zyathé is 50. And I really believe it's all about we can get them to start advertising if we stop letting them invite people for free. This is what I think, but
right.
I don't know.
I mean, you create public events for us that aren't necessarily in a private group, so.
Yeah, we kind of stopped doing as much with private groups. Just it was, a little more trouble than it was worth for me to manage. So.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I don't understand it, and it hurts all these little creators, right? This is what bothers me. We're okay. We can advertise. We have enough money to be able to do that. But lots of little creators, they can't. They don't. There's not enough money to be able to do it. And so anyway, so you do, so marketing is my day job, Suzanne. This is what I love. This is I love gaming, but I like marketing too. So
it's good to have your work and your hobbies. Now we have made our hobbies our work.
Which you're not supposed to do.
It's the biggest mistake. But do you guys find that you want this to become more than just a hobby for you? Do you want to expand this? Tell us about the future of WiscoDice.
Yeah, for me, I enjoy my day job. I work in IT, and I need to have the separation between the two. And I would love WiscoDice to grow and be like a side gig, more of a side gig for me. But I think Cones is a little different with that.
I think there's a certain amount of daydream that goes into whether it's content creation or making a gaming product or whatever it is, in being like, oh, hey, I could just do this for my daytime business. And we're kind of blessed here in Madison to have several publishers on the board gaming side in particular that's literally they've had that opportunity to do it, and even help have now some employees that actually work for them. And then there's also, of course, there are content creators that strike it out there rich, but we're not going to, it's a content creator rich environment. So let's just say I'd be happy if we can maybe pay for the website and web hosting and a few other things, and maybe improve our cameras and things like that at some point. But at this point, we're not asking, we don't have like a Patreon, or we don't beg anybody for money. We're not asking for people for money. So
yeah, but if it ever got to the point where he could stop working a day job and focus on this, and that's what he wanted to do, I'd be all for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a crowded space, but content creation is crowded, all of that stuff, and it's just a matter of building brand consistency, building fandom, friends, making friends, all that kind of stuff. We're very blessed in the Gooey community to have the community that we have. As you know, Ben, you're very much immersed in it, and Suzanne, I know you've been around the periphery of it. So, I couldn't ask for more other than the the same thing you're asking is, can we make a little money, right? That would be the hope eventually to do that. But the journey of this has been so magnificent. And Mandy and I and others have in our group, Lawrence is in the chat right now. We've made so many great friends around the world. I mean, when we went to Europe for the convention in England, we met James and Amy, who are dear friends from England. We met Tyrone from the Netherlands, of course, dear Ben and Giza from Germany. And we spent time with them, and we saw other friends of friends, right? It was just, I mean, who gets to do that, over this wonderful thing that we call gaming? It's just magnificent. So, do we have any questions from the chat that might want to ask about, or do you want to give them a little plug here?
Oh, I definitely want them to give your information where people can find WiscoDice. We love your podcast. We love what you're doing. We love that you're also building community, and we deeply appreciate the fact that you had us on your show. And we're really honored by that.
And don't forget, you can advertise on Mondays, every Monday, in the Gooey Den for Wisco. So you could do that, right? Just put a picture of us up there. When I licked your ear when we were on the podcast. Oh, I didn't do that. That's right. That was someone else. Never mind.
We'll enjoy our. We'll find pictures of escargot. We'll find some snails and plenty of hats. That's what we'll find. You can find WiscoDice. Go to our blog, WiscoDice.com. What's that website?
It's WiscoDice.com. We have Facebook, Instagram Threads, Discord, and then YouTube is where
and it's
we kind of pared it down to just that.
Yes, and it's WISCO, WiscoDice. Not even though they say Wisco, there's no Z in there, right? So just make sure you don't screw that up.
Z. It's
our Wisconsin accent.
Wisco is in Wisconsin, and then Dice, all one word. And then on YouTube, WiscoDice_Maine, or usually you can just find us searching by WiscoDice. Please, whether it's us or somebody else, when it comes to YouTube, all those small creators that you enjoy, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, watch their videos, even if you're muting your computer or whatever. It helps so much, especially in the first couple hours of release, to help manipulate that YouTube algorithm so that other people can find them. There's so many great content creators, whether it's us or other people in the industry. The big thing that's going around right now that people are talking about is some of the bigger D&D creators have just hung up their hats, right, in the YouTube space, and it's largely because people stopped watching videos, leaving comments, subscribing in the YouTube algorithm. If it's not massaged in just the right way, they don't get to they stop growing, and YouTube stops pushing their stuff. So it really helps everyone involved.
Ben, I saw that. We might want to just touch on that before you go. So it was How to Be a Great Game Master. Yes. Who was the most prominent of those. And basically he said, I'm not going to do clickbait, which is what basically he was being told to do, right? That was the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Professor DM did a great video where he was getting a lot of feedback from people that they were sick of clickbait videos, but he's like, I'm doing all these other videos. I'm doing all the videos that you say that you want. YouTube's just not serving them to you, or you're not clicking on them to go. And so sometimes you do have to put the extra effort in to go to the page to go get the content that you want, because YouTube won't just serve it up if it's not, part of their
but of course that makes it much harder to grow, right?
Yeah.
And so this is again what I now what I believe again is and this I believe in capitalism. I actually think it's pretty good. I do. I've said no. This won't be too renty.
It's not that. It's that Adam just got a bingo.
Adam got a bingo?
Yeah, but Adam can't win anything.
Adam, you can't win, so don't worry about it. You keep going, friends.
Yeah, so everyone, don't. Yeah.
But the relentless pursuit of profit, I don't believe in, right? And if you go back to the roots of the corporation, the creation of the corporation, there was a lot of things that were kind of reason why I was given personhood status was because it was supposed to help the community. It was supposed to help be charitable. There was a whole host of things about it. And this idea of maximization of shareholder value and profitability at all costs I really believe has not helped at a host of levels. And I'm hoping that that there are more and more of these social organizations that are being made, and they're smaller ones, and they are doing more. And I'm really hopeful. The gaming community actually is filled with many of them. And I'm very hopeful that this movement will continue, because I think it's good for people to not be all about just about money. But I think that's what's going on with YouTube as well. I think that really what they're trying to push for is getting creators to advertise for themselves, to pay money to get people to their channels, which is what I also believe Facebook is doing. I think that is they sit around in their boardrooms, right, and say, how do we make more money? This is a constant conversation, right? Well, gosh, if we stop letting the content creators, giving away audience for free, maybe they'll start paying to advertise. And that's what I think is going on. I don't know, but that's what I think.
But most content creators can't start with huge advertising
No.
budgets. So, because they're just people like us. They're just
no.
people like us, all of us, who just have a dream and who want to do something big with our lives, even if it's making a big impact in the gaming community.
Yes. All right, one more time, Ben, Suzanne. WiscoDice.com, yes?
WiscoDice.com. You can find all the information there. And like I said, if you go download our most recent podcast episode where we have Mandy and Alphinius on the show, and we talk to them about the world of Zyathé, Gooey Cube, D&D, ranty stories, all of it. Catch it, download it. We get a bunch of downloads on that episode. That will reviews on YouTube. That definitely tells us to go create more RPG content, and we want to create more RPG content. I
like it also.
I have some really cool ideas, particularly around Gooey Cube products. And I'm running right now the Red Star Rising campaign for a couple of different groups. So I've got some great ideas about things that I haven't seen personally, about how I approach setting it up and keeping the group engaged and running those that I would love to do. But I need your help to kind of encourage me to get it done.
Let's have a chat, Ben. Let's get these people pushing. Let's figure out how we get more folks. The one thing about the Gooey community, I tell you, they are supportive. They are wonderful people, and they care, and they and you've been in the Facebook, Ben, you've seen it. There's just no negativity. There's just so much positivity and so much kindness and so much encouragement. I keep worrying as we keep adding more and more people that it's going to start bad stuff. Now, of course, we have kicked a couple people in our history, but for the most part, I think part of it is just the gamer community at large. Just wonderful people. So many.
It goes to a well-administered community when you foster a kind of environment that you want to have. And I know this from personal experience, right? Fostering communities, and we're growing now on the board gaming side here in town and on the RPG side. It's really about, making sure you lead by example. You also tell folks, and this is what, if somebody's out of line, you're clearly telling them, hey, you're out of line. This is not acceptable behavior, and you're where necessary, you come down with a big hammer, but it shouldn't. Most of the time, it's not necessary, right? Because it's what you foster and what you grow and what you want to have, and people see that and they love that, and that's part of why we love Gooey Cube.
Yeah. Well, much love, my friends. We'll let you go. We're going to do a little quick little the sixth part of the Gyzaengaxx walkthrough. So if you want to stick around and watch for a minute, you might enjoy that. It's really come together well.
Absolutely.
Luke is very excited, and I think. That's the most people we've ever had involved in a Kickstarter. Like 3,000 people supported us in that Kickstarter, and many of them never have gotten Gooey stuff before. So it does very much look like Monday or at the latest Tuesday, we'll be sending out the emails to drop the digitals for the Tomb of Gyzaengaxx adventure. So we're excited to see what people think. So, all right, much love.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. It was great to be with you.
Welcome to WiscoDice.
WiscoDice.com. Wisco, not Wisco. WiscoDice.com.
Wisco.
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye, friends.
Okay. That was a great conversation.
Oh, they're awesome.
Yeah, amazing. I
get to take this out.
I have some people from the chat who want to know some things.
Yes.
Okay. So first off, I have been shouted at by Porthalis.
Portholus.
Porthalis says, Mandy, we need a blue Gooey Cube Hawaiian shirt. Tell Alphinius.
Well, tell Lawrence.
Yeah, I know.
By the way, did you notice Ben's shirt was like really swanky?
I know. I love that D&D
Yes,
shirt. And Lawrence has one of those too.
Yes, Lawrence has one. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So seriously, Rick, you got to tell Lawrence. Lawrence is all around the right. Lawrence is really
he's doing the merch.
He's doing the merch. Yes.
So with an asterisk ago.
I do think they're really good looking. I have two of them now.
The Hawaiian shirt?
Yeah, I have two of them in a bag on my floor. I did not know I got two of them, so somebody ordered me shirts.
Well, I need to get a shirt for
of
Genghis
course you
Khan.
do. Yeah, for Genghis.
Yeah. Anyway, and I'm sorry my camera keeps going on and off. I'll fix that.
I don't see it going on and off.
I know you don't, but it's on the Twitch stream. So okay. The next one was from Josh. Are we going to have a new Gyzaengaxx adventure this year?
I am darn sure going to try.
Yeah. I
am darn sure going to try.
Yeah.
Along with everything else, Sir Josh.
You got this. It doesn't have to be,
no, what I think I'm going to do is I've got an idea about, because the truth of the matter is we have not sold that many Gyzaengaxx.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's 60,000 people that attend Gen Con. At least, I would bet at least 20,000 of them are game masters. And I don't know, Lawrence would have to tell you, it's only been hundreds of Gyzaengaxx that we've sold.
Yeah, we sell about 600 to 700 a year.
Yeah. But what I'm thinking we'll do is we'll put a bundle together for the three, a really good bundle together for the three, and then do a little augmented one. Because I kind of want to do something at Strong Arm McGillen's.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Because I mean, really, with the Gloomport coming out, these are great adventures to have.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and definitely by Gen Con. I will put this out there. I'm not one to really put it out. We better have Gloomport out by Gen Con.
Oh no, we are rolling.
Yeah.
It's just we're trying to also do Gyzaengaxx at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? So all of that and making sure that we do that. Yeah. And but it looks, Tuma Gyzaengaxx is going to drop. It's like ready to drop.
I am so excited.
Yeah, it's Luke is excited about it. People who have pre-reviewed it think it's really, really good. I think it's pretty good. It's got, we'll talk more about it. Let's do it. Let's. Do you want to do that next, or you want to do social media? What do you want to do?
Oh, I don't have social media.
Oh, we'll have to do it next week.
Because Ben was going to, Ben and Susan were going to.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So but let us go ahead and get into the Gyzaengaxx. I'm just making sure that there's been a lot of really great new squares that are going to be added to the bingo cards. I do love this bingo idea.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's a really good idea from Lawrence.
Well, what we have to do is we have to ultimately do a really serious bingo one where somebody can really win.
Someone can win this one.
I thought we did one.
Oh, and by the way, Adam did not actually have a bingo. He was making. Have you ever seen the show Bluey?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Remember, I have two little kids living.
I want to be
right
very
now.
clear. Adam and I do not have children. We don't have children. Adam loves Bluey. Like Adam actively watches Bluey. On the side.
You do realize Adam does realize this is intended for like 4-year-olds.
He loves Bluey. I'm gonna just sell him out he was excited. We got to the Disney World Hotel and they had Bluey on a little television with these little seats, and he went and sat on one of the little seats and watched Bluey. But there's a character on Bluey called Bingo. So he was making a Bluey bingo reference. So he did not win. And Lawrence Lawrence was like, there are serious bingo players here. Adam, anyway, it was pretty funny.
So Adam got thrown down on right now?
And Lawrence will actually tackle him.
Lawrence will tackle anyone.
Just saying. Okay.
Lawrence is huge.
If y'all order it, I'll get it on camera. No. Lawrence tackled him one time.
Poor Ben.
No, I'm not kidding. When I was running a game, and it was a it was like an escape room. It was this witches game that I ran a couple years ago. I kid you not, this actually happened. And I was running the game for Lawrence and a friend, and at the end of the story I have Adam coming down the stairs in like this costume because he's supposed to be like this specter thing, and he has like this wand and he's like the big bad, and so he comes down in this costume and Lawrence literally tackles him and throws him to the ground, and it was like, what has happened?
Was he injured?
No, he was fine.
So it was a little
wounded.
It was a little tackle.
You know when your wife's brother just throws you down when you're in a costume in the middle of an intense witches game?
How many times? That's happened many times. I'm sure that many people in the chat happened to.
Lord says it was the PTSD. Okay, so you don't need to tackle Adam now, Lawrence, because we'll just say that was retroactive from the time you threw them down.
Retro tackling.
Yes. Anyway. Okay. Anyway, that was my own tangent. I don't know if that's a.
I don't think there's a cameraman tangent square.
There's an Alphinius tangent square.
I know that. I've already got it.
Yeah,
people got to
hit
market
it.
already
So,
today.
Anyway, let's go ahead and do Gyzaengaxx. I have like all of your things in here. Where's the first one?
It says part 6, I think, or part 5. The tower, part 5.
Okay. There it is. Is this it?
I don't know. There's two of them.
I'm saying that to myself. Is this it?
Yes, this is it. More on the tower.
Okay.
And this is so Kishore did this for us, right? This is really a marvelous, look of the
well, this
tomb
was
of
based
Gyzaengaxx.
off a stock image.
It was.
And
yes.
and we loved the look of the stock image, but we looked at it and we were like, we feel like this is potentially AI.
Potentially AI.
And
that's a problem, my friends. I want everyone to know this.
Yeah.
At this point in time, you really can't trust the stock supported places anyway. You got to start using checkers and other things like that if you're trying to avoid promoting this computer generation of artwork.
Sometimes you have to use stock imagery though, otherwise it is just crazy.
It's still supporting.
Yeah,
artists.
I know our community really is not these people, but if anyone who's watching this, to kind of just have a little bit of grace with creators, because we don't know if it's AI or not a lot of times when we purchase something and then we spend the money on it and then we look at it. However, I really like what you've been doing with these artists, which is, you see something and it's like, this is a great inspiration for it. And then you send it to a real artist that we pay. And this is a spectacular example of a beautiful piece of art that is created off of inspiration.
Yeah, that's right. Because we weren't sure. So because we weren't sure, I just said, Kishore, paint this over. And he did just a magnificent job. Put extra towers and put the lights in. I mean, he just added so much more to it. It was more flat. It was a nice image, but it was more flat. He just really added to it. So, all right, let's keep going.
Okay. I think that's not the next one. This is the next one. I'm sorry. You have that image in here a couple times. Okay.
Oh, do I have it? Was that?
Well, from the previous.
Oh, from the previous. Yes.
Yeah.
So just to remind everyone, we are in the Glúvoik fiefdom, right? And next week I'll show the map that I put up in the Facebook today and yesterday, which is this area. So if you were to draw two squares kind of around not squares, or more rectangles, horizontal rectangles that kind of take into account Mythindale right there on the right-hand side and kind of go out into the Barrows on the left-hand side. That's really the two regional maps that Edvard is working on right now. And of course, Marvelous Carrie, and she has been with Ed Greenwood's stuff and all of our communities' contributions. We're starting to put little details on the regional map. And it is so spectacular. And I've been sharing the progress on it, and I'll show it next week for people to see. But this whole area has really started to shape up, and it's really exciting to see how it is dancing. And I am very hopeful that this is going to be a place that will be special to many, many in the TTRPG community as we go forward. So anyway, so that's where we are. Let's keep going. And of course, we traveled to Ethom, and we met the marvelous Gyzaengaxx family. And Lukáš is, if everything goes according to plan, at least Lukáš is attending with the party to head to the tower, and perhaps even Baushira, who is Lukáš's spouse and the mother of the girls. So that's the family, and we've already talked about that, so I won't go too deep into it. So go ahead, cameraman. And of course, our goal is to rescue the wizard who has been missing now for, going on a year, Geralt Gyzaengaxx. But there's all the tale that is underneath it, and I won't go, I'm trying not to repeat myself, and I'm trying to do a good job of giving a little background, but all of this is around the major tale that Geralt Gyzaengaxx and Astrud Krovenloft, nigh on 20 years ago, were dispatched to this area by the Queen of Vanzentia because she had heard rumors that there was a terrifying Aethernic artifact somewhere in the region. Something of incredible power and very, very dangerous.
We have a question from the chat.
Yes, please.
Where's Krovenloft on this map?
So Krovenloft is, do you see the little dot? The little dot is approximately where Ethom is. And if you go north and to the east, then you'll kind of run into where Blun is. And I'll show this next time. And so Ethholm is in what is called the Barrowsdale, okay? So the Barrows is a region, and then Barrowsdale is actually where Ethholm is. Now, south of Barrowsdale is another dale called Summersdale. However, the locals have of late started calling it Dedendale because of what has happened at the Crovenloft estate.
Dedendale.
And so, anyway, as we know, the party has now traveled to Abalon Hill, which I hope everyone sees what we did there because I think it's so funny and amazing. So they've traveled to Abalon Hill, where the Highwood Plateau is, and you can, of course, see the tower of Gyzaengaxx protruding off of there in the distance. Benjo did this one for us. Isn't it just wonderful, Mandy? Yes? I mean, it's just...
You have the best artists.
And it's also, for me, again, this is the thing, right? Here you are traveling, right? And the mind's eye is wonderful. But art exists because of what art does to our brains, right? And here you are traveling along this road. You've had some encounters, all of this stuff going on, and all of a sudden you come around a bend and you get the view of the Mithril Mountains in the background and Abalon Hill in the foreground. And you can see the tower. And all of a sudden, for me, I'm right there. I'm right there.
Well, even Suzanne talked about this in the
She
podcast
did.
that we did, about how it really helps players, especially, I think, newer players who aren't as attuned to the imagination and, learning the whole series of what you do during.
Well, immersiveness, right, is something we all strive for when we're trying to really have a role-playing game where it really feels real, right? That's the idea. That's the sort of the pinnacle of role-playing, unless you're sitting around drinking and just having fun, right? Then that pinnacle is just drinking and having fun.
That can be fun too.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. You're talking to a master at that, camera, Mandy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we had the Highwood Plateau. I didn't put that map in here again, but we got, once you traverse the Highwood Plateau and deal with the things there, you come to this area where the tower is, right? And so the tower protrudes up from that rock. And of course, if you're following the wonderful hook that we created, and you wanted to ask about this, camera, Mandy, if you're following the wonderful hook we created, one of the party members is actually the son or daughter or them of their mother and Geralt Gyzaengaxx, due to sort of an illicit affair that sort of happened in the past. And so that person is now also associated, right, and the sibling of Lukasz Gyzaengaxx. And the hook is wonderful because there's a mark that appears and dreams that start happening. And so we really, I think, bring a nice little thing, and then they come together, and that's the only way that they can get into the tower, is because they come together.
Okay. There's some chatter in the chat
Chatter.
about, and I'm just going to say, we'd have to get a lot of support for this to happen. They want a Molluskian race in Zyathé. So
Chatter
if
away,
you can
chatter.
find-
No, this
if
is...
you can find 10,000 people
No.
who want the Molluskian race, and trust me, I'll be one of them. I'll be one of the 10,000 people that will do it.
The thing is, here's the deal. This is kind of important to me. I love what has happened with the snail. I mean, I think it's so funny, and it makes me laugh. And of course, Chet's magnificent artwork, right?
And it's in Darkenhaven.
Yeah, yes. There's so many things. And I'm even, and you did that as a sneaky-
it's a fun little.
Yes.
It's not an actual.
But I am trying to avoid with Zyathé having lots of animalistic races. I'm trying very hard to keep Zyathé different in that regard. And so that's why I know, but listen, at your table, you're welcome to do whatever you want. But in terms of the canon of the world, right, I am leaning more as we move forward to the creation of like the Infernathé, right? And the wonderful lore that go along with the Infernathé and why they exist and all of that stuff. And the Du'un Sarasi. And as we move to the other continents, there will be more, right? And of course, the magnificent Fey Muddles, right? And so I'm trying to have us not just take an elephant and make it a bipedal hominid. So really my bent is not to take creatures and make them peoples, My bent is to make unique and interesting peoples that really don't exist anywhere else.
But as Gragnick says, that
I'm
even
watching
if
you,
we don't have
Christopher.
it in Zyathé, does not mean you can't have it at your table.
Absolutely.
And that's the brilliant thing about TTRPGs is that you can customize anything to your heart's content.
That's right.
So
And our love for the community, right? We obviously put our dear Escargot into Darken Haven. So
it's a nice shout out. All it is is a little portrait,
Yes.
and then on the back it's a QR code to the Gooey Game Master's Den of Enlightenment, and I think that's a perfect little homage to what we created together. And other people might look at it and be like, "WTF?" And then, sorry, I'll actually WTF word because apparently you have to say the F word in order to get on the bingo card, but I'm not going to say it this week. But I will
come
say
on,
F word.
Camera Mendy.
I will
You
say
drop an
F-word.
F-bomb now all the time.
So there, put that on you can get that one on the bingo card. That will count. So
All right. So if
Okay.
everything has gone according to plan,
yes.
as we discussed last week, the players have entered the tower, right? Go ahead. You can go to the next one. And they have begun to
I
experience.
really like this, what you did here. So, because you put in the
Oh,
pictures
yeah.
here. So this is the draft of what you send to the artist, right?
Yes, so this is how these always begin. Hand-drawn or whatever, right? And then Jesus and Stephen and Stephen. So Stephen and Stephen and
What the heck
Jesus.
is going on?
Don't ask me, Camera Mendy.
Okay.
But zoom in on that.
Okay.
So this is what I love about maps, right? And why I think maps with detail and maps with beautiful color and all of that stuff, because we make a player's map for everything we do. And to me, I don't need to do artwork for every room, because the artwork for where did it go, Camera Mendy?
I'm sorry. I'm just messing up big time. Sorry.
Put that bingo card right there. You forgot Camera Mendy screws up some shit. That's it.
That's some stuff.
Stuff.
Some stuff. Was there an actual another cuss word on there? Shame on you.
I don't know. Anyway, but this is the idea, is to create a map that also inspires the mind, right? And gives players things to really look at and all of that stuff. So this is the first level of the tower, and they go in, and there's the entry and all of that stuff, and there's things that they discover and locate. And then this is the second level. So you can see it's open to below. So you can see the staircase coming up from below, and you can see the things that you can see from down below in the image, right? So it's interesting, Camera Mendy, if you go back to that picture that of the grand entry, if you're looking up, you can see the fountain up above. And of course, this is the marvelous area. And what I love about this is there's so many little Easter eggs and things. For example, to the north is the game room. And in the game room is a billiard table and a gaming table. And of course, in the world of Zyathé, we have the game Delvers and Drake Slayers. And that was AJ who created that magnificent title. And
I thought it was Carrie.
I think it was AJ.
Oh, okay.
I think AJ created Delvers and Drake Slayers long ago, actually.
Oh.
Long ago. And I could be wrong, and if I am, Carrie, my apologies. But I'm pretty sure it was AJ who came up with Delvers and Drake Slayers. And of course, we retconned this a little bit in the Tomb of Gyzaengaxx, because it is rumored that Gyzaengaxx actually had a hand in helping make the game Delvers and Drake Slayers. So that's kind of fun. All right, so let's go to the next. So anyway, so the game room at the top has some very interesting things that people will experience when they go into the game room. And there's plenty of room for you to expand upon it as a game master. So this is the third floor, and this is the first area where you now there's lots of things going on as you're going through here. There's monsters, because what has happened, if you look in the center of this map, those little diazes are all, this is one of the rooms. There are two rooms where Gyzaengaxx stored his instasis monsters. And so these monsters escaped, and they are running all over the place. Some of them, if they were not of animal intelligence or lower, they could leave. They could walk out. But those with intelligence,
I think I have this.
they can't get out.
There we go.
Yes, right there. So they were on those diazes, and they were in stasis. But when the tower was attacked on Darktide, all of these creatures were set free, which some believe was actually of the wizard's intent. So that's what's going on there. So and you can see the place is a little disheveled and all of that stuff. And there are light globes because we have those in the world of Zyathé, so you have light. But I mean, zoom in again, cameraman. You don't go there yet. Don't go there yet. So zoom in just a little bit. I mean, you got to give a little hand to Jesus and Stephen. I mean, I mean, seriously, Mandy. I mean, this is magnificent. And these are made with pieces of things that we have created and things we have licensed, and some of them are hand drawn by people and all of that stuff. But what a magnificent work. I can't wait to show you the caverns, which we'll do next week. All right, let's keep going. So, and then this is the 4th floor. And this, if you look at the room on the top right, that is the demon maw, where that is the way you have to walk into there to actually access Gyzaengaxx's personal chambers, which is right there on the left-hand side of the maw room. And then down below is oh, and by the way, there's a little elevator in the top of that room on the top left. That's little rectangle. There's an elevator there. That elevator goes up 2 levels. First level it goes up to is the bottom left, which is Gyzaengaxx's bedroom. And the top level is actually an observatory where there is a wonderful telescope and some other discoveries. So this is really the tower. So we haven't done the basement yet. We'll do the basement next week. But let's keep going.
I think they have a bingo in the chat.
Really? Who got the bingo?
David. So Lawrence is checking the card right now.
Ah.
So we will see what's
Lawrence is. How does he check the card?
You know, these are the things we don't
think about.
Yeah, we let Lawrence think about that.
Lawrence.
And then at some point I'll have to learn it, but
Andrew.
this week.
Is Andrew watching today? Do we know?
I thought I saw him at one point in the chat.
I just want to point out, I did make very clear to Stephen Dugan that we need a compass on this map. So just so everyone's clear.
Oh, okay. Just yeah, like head it off before.
Yes.
Okay.
Before he says, "Where's the damn compass?"
I mean, that's fair because like if I didn't live in Colorado, I don't know how I'd ever know where west was.
How, with the mountains.
I'm just saying, yeah.
I agree with that.
So
anyway, this is the grand entry, which we showed earlier, and you can of course see the fountain up above, and this is how it goes up, and and this is we do our best really to try to coordinate the artworks with the maps. We're not always perfect, but a lot of times we're close. So, we every once in a while we mess up, but for the most part, we're pretty good about that. Anyway, keep going.
Let's give David a round of applause.
Thank you, David. Oh, he did. David.
He
Congratulations, David. I don't know what you won, but you won something.
It has been confirmed. Yes.
So we discussed this last time. I don't want to go too deep into it, but as they're progressing through the tower, the tomb, right, they will meet the last of the fauns. And the fauns are these summoned creatures, and of course their leader is named Arthur. And this was actually a creature that Luke created when he was just a kid. And of course, it pays homage to Arthur Fonzarelli of the Happy Days thing. And so we have the fauns in here. And as they're cruising around, they will encounter some zombified monsters because when the monsters all don't go so fast, cameraman.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because when the monsters escaped, some of them killed each other because they fought. And then Kararika, who we mentioned last week, who we're about to talk a little bit more about, Kararika raised them from the dead. And so here you have a marvelous undead Ankeg, an undead Yeti.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to press that.
And an undead giant toad. So you have zombified monsters running around. You have some of the ones we showed last week, the Glopping Goo and Grool the Troll, and of course this monster. Camera Mendy.
I'm just trying to show. I didn't know. I'm just trying to be on top of it.
Just slow your roll, girl. Slow your roll.
Sorry.
So anyway, we have all those, and then of course the mini big bad is the one that Camera Mendy just showed, because this is the Horosh, and the Horosh is really, if you play it right.
I'm messing up here.
If you play it right, the Horosh is really scary, and the Horosh serves Kararika and has really great stealth capabilities and is really a creepy monster. And we talked about it last week. That was a little bit of inspired by the and doggone it, I forgot the name again, but somebody in the chat had remembered, was from The Witcher. Was little. It doesn't look like that at all, but it's there. Now here's the other thing. So when Gyzaengaxx was slain, and his spirit released, to walk around as the ghost, which we'll talk about the ghost next week, but to walk around as the ghost, his body reanimated. And so we love this because the body, the zombified body, casts spells and really is going to create a lot of heck for the party because it can't be killed. It can be put down, but it will rise up back. You could disintegrate, it doesn't matter what you do, Geralt's zombified body will come back. So when you're playing this, you're going to be able to have Geralt's zombified body show up, kind of when you want it to, and, sort of make havoc for the PCs. We think that'll give them a lot of consternation, especially like the third time it comes back after the second time they burnt it or whatever they did. So we're pretty excited about it. We think it's going to be fun. And of course, there's Geralt's zombified body coming to bring problems. All right, keep going, Kimberman.
I'm really enjoying this bingo card stuff in the chat.
Oh, yeah, it's
Heather
fun.
also got a bingo.
Heather!
Yeah, but unfortunately, David already beat her to it. So
Do we don't give a double bingo?
we can give a double bingo.
I think we give a double bingo.
We're going to give a double bingo.
Heather, you get a double
Lawrence,
bingo.
check Heather's bingo card. So, and we'll send out 2 things.
Yes, we'll send out 2 things. So this is Kararika. Kararika is a demi-lich. Now, here's the deal. Demi-liches are really powerful. And the adventure is designed for a level 6 to 8.
Apparently, unplanned giveaway is also a bingo card. So
Oh, unplanned
are we
giveaway.
really this
Yes.
predictable? We're at 176 episodes, so I guess, it is just what it is.
It's amazing. Thank you all
Yeah.
for joining us. And being, I love Saturday mornings. I mean,
Yeah.
it really has become a part of my thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is Kararika.
Uh-huh.
Now, what I would recommend is if I was game mastering, I would drop a little hints about this demi-lich and all this kind of stuff as the players are going through, right? Vons will talk about them, blah, blah, blah. Because anybody who's sort of a rules checker is going to be like, no way, we can't fight a demi-lich. They're too powerful. And Kararika has been nerfed a little bit. Gyzaengaxx did that to her. So, but she is nothing to be trifled with because here you have 3 more undead monsters, an undead manticore, an undead Zorn, and an undead rust monster, along with Snoorcus. See what we did there? Snoorcus, the demon spawn, who is the spawn, the offspring of a demon of Norcreos, the lord of the undead, and a minotaur. So Snoorcus, the demon spawn, see what we did there? Snoorcus is Kararika's sort of right-hand person. So we think it'll be really fun when they have this. So we set this up in Gyzaengaxx that you really can have this encounter happen in a couple different ways. And the reason why we did that is because even though Kararika is truly not the big bad, she is the semi-big bad. Kararika will show up sort of late in the game in terms of the tower. So you can bring Kararika out. If the players go down, you can bring Kararika out when they go up the second time. Or if they go up, you can bring Kararika when they go down. So we've set it up a little more so there's more fluidity with the monsters generally. Most of them are kind of offered up as NSREs, so you can move them around and all of that kind of stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun for the game master, and every game will be different because of it. All right, keep going, Kim.
I think it is 11:07.
Almost done.
Okay.
Let's get to the end.
Okay.
So I guess we could stop here. We
Yeah,
can
this
stop
is a
here.
good
Let's do
place
this.
to
Okay.
stop.
So now Geralt has magical mirrors, right? Geralt has magical mirrors. And these magical mirrors, some of them go to pocket dimensions. So we'll talk about the pocket dimensions next time.
Heather, go ahead and ask your question.
Oh, are there some questions?
Heather says, I have a somewhat off-topic question to ask before the stream ends if there's time.
Yeah, go, Heather, go.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. Keep going.
No, it's good. We'll bring the pocket. Just remind me, I got to do the pocket dimensions next week, and then we'll start going down into the basement, into the caverns. I hope everybody's liking this. Are you liking this? Is the chat enjoying the walkthrough?
I think so. So Cassius has a question. Hang on. What if mollusks were aberrations? The entire point of aberrations is weird stuff from somewhere else. So it wouldn't be from Zyathé, but would have appeared there now. Look, if someone wants to make an unofficial molluscian race, I say do it, and we'll put it up in the Gooey Den, and people can download it and make it part of their
we'll
games.
have fun for it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Like I said, I'm trying to. I don't want to be the Forgotten Realms. I want Zyathé to be unique, and I want it to be interesting. And so part of that is really not necessarily taking so many animal races. I mean, we already, if you think about it, we've already got vials, right, which are sort of based in you know, and we've got rat folk.
Harry has already written up a molluscan race. Says Harry. Okay, we will do something with it and put it up so people can use it.
Well,
if they
we could,
want, but it
you
won't
know,
be
we
official.
probably should bring Harry on anyway. We haven't brought him on in a long time.
Oh, we need
his
to have Harry
miniatures.
on. And
Yes,
he's only
and-
going to be able to go to Gen Con this year.
Yes,
so.
we should have Harry on. I think we should do that.
Yeah, Harry,
Will
we're
you set that up?
gonna schedule you out. Hold on, I'm writing down snail. Porthalis is a snail mini. Well, we're gonna have Harry on. Make a note. Heather says, "Do you have any idea when we will get details on the Gen Con event for Gyzaengaxx? Sorry, Gyzaengaxx. Sorry.
The Gyzaengaxx?
Sorry, there's a lot of G's. Gloomsport
At Gen Con.
Yes.
Because I have been asked a couple of times. I forwarded those emails to you.
Yes. So we have a meeting this week with the Game Masters where we are going to discuss when we are going to put those events. So, or not
Because
the Game Masters.
I think they're talking about
the Game Master team.
They're talking about the Luke.
Yes. I have a meeting this week with the, there you go. Yes, I have a meeting this week because all of this has to be scheduled out in our suites.
Yes.
So I have a meeting this week to discuss this with the Game Master, we call it the Gooey events team. And they're the people who make my life easy. So
Should we give them a little shout out?
yeah,
Go.
that would be Mark, Matt, Whit, and Casey. Those four are the people who are the people behind the scenes who do everything. So
You know what? We should have them on.
We will.
No, we should
Absolutely.
definitely have them on. Once we get the Gen Con thing figured out,
Okay.
we should have them on and we should talk about the new sweet things that we're doing at Gen Con and
Mhm.
all of the new stuff. We can even show some pictures and stuff. And I think that people would love that.
Yes, we
I
will
think
do
we
that.
should do that.
Yes, but it's going to be very because I don't want to give too many details ahead of time because also we have to get it through Gen Con as well. So I don't want to do anything too quickly. But
Gen Con is very favorable to us.
oh, I love Gen Con. They treat us so well. I mean, I love the staff of Gen
I know
Con.
now, can I say this too? This is very important.
Yes.
Part of that, absolutely a big part of that, is because of the quality of the games that we run and the quality of our game masters.
Preach.
Right? This is it. This
Yes.
is the truth. I have heard it again and again and again, how good the games are, how much people appreciate them and like them. And this is why we sell out.
Mhm.
Oh, and we're on the big stage, aren't we? We mentioned that last week.
Oh, did we?
I thought you did.
I wasn't on last week.
Week before last.
So it is looking very much like we are going to get to be back on the main stage at Gen Con for the Great Gooey Dungeon Game Show. But nothing is official until it's officially scheduled. So anyway, so that's one thing to keep in
pretty
mind.
official
Yeah, it's as official as it could be
without it being official.
official. Yes. Anyway, so
Is that pseudo-official, semi-official,
I don't know.
marginally official?
Just know that we are working on getting everything, and we are still doing Game Master recruitment. I should definitely do
yeah.
If you want to run games for Gary or for your, sorry.
Gen Con.
Let me rewind. Yes, Genghis Khan and Gary Khan are both scheduled out with Game Masters. However, we are looking to expand even more this year. And so if you would like to run some games for Gooey Cube, we have a great compensation package. You get paid $60 per every 4-hour game that you run. You get a t-shirt. You get to keep the module that you run at the convention. If you work full-time for us, you get free Gyzaengaxx.
Now, make sure everyone understands what we consider full-time, because other people consider full-time much more hours.
Yeah,
than
full-time for us is 20 hours of gaming over a 4-day period. So, and with that, you get a free Gyzaengaxx module and you get a pass to Gen Con. So, if you want to run games, like it is, and then on top of
we're
that,
even running tracks now, right? We're trying to run more tracks, so we're trying to run some track
that's
games.
part of what our discussion is
Yes.
on Wednesday or whatever that is this week. But with that said, the other thing that you get when you run games with Gooey Cube is that we have an EO team, and that they take care of
And they are
all the nitty gritty.
spectacular.
Yes, they check in the guests. If you need something during your game, you just have to raise a paddle. They'll come get you water. Like, they are amazing people, and they take care of all the little things so that way you can just focus on giving your table the best experience possible. So I mean, really, and then on top of all of that, we genuinely have the nicest group of people
Me too.
in the convention. And like people go out for drinks together afterwards. They spend time together through the convention. It's a way to make friends. It's a way to find people to go game with. Like it is an amazing community. I really have a strong affection
I know.
for what we do at
All right,
these
what was
conventions.
Heather's question? Are there other questions?
That was the question was about there were probably other questions, but I've been talking.
If
and
there's
not looking at
another
the chat.
question or two, let's get them up. Let's get them taken care of. Take care of our people, and then we'll get out of here.
Okay, I have to go. There's a lot of comments.
Well,
that
if
came
you've
in
got
while
a
I was
question, just
talking.
throw a question up right now.
I don't know. I have
No,
to
not
read through-
you. I'm talking to the chat.
Oh, okay.
So
yes.
if the chat's got a question, they can do it.
Okay.
And Mandy, you know, if worse comes to worse, I got to remember I'm always in a mirror. There's always this goofy hat behind me here that you could put on right there.
Are you talking about if I forget my hat?
Yes, if you ever forget your hat.
I always leave this
and then
hat.
there's the totally cool hat that's
This
like,
hat stays at the office.
like this one up here, cameraman. You see, it's really
yeah, that really cool
yeah,
one
that very
Marcus
cool
sent
hat.
us.
Marcus is like my favorite guy ever.
Yeah.
Even though he always is supportive of the snail and the hatters.
Okay, so Lawrence says that Rick and Heather both had bingos, so 3 people are going to get prizes this week and we're going to keep this bingo thing
an
going.
extra
This is so much
unplanned
fun.
giveaway.
I know. I'm sorry, reading through the comments.
Like I said, if somebody's got a question, throw it up again. Make it
Okay.
easier on her. Genghis Khan coming up, my friends. Can't tell you how excited
Okay,
we are.
so I had done, I think the Great Gooey Dungeon Game Show for the Gen Con experience, and I'm curious if the playing is going to be. Oh wait. Okay, so Kyler, you're saying that you also have the Gen Con experience. So those are going to be in VIP suites that are in the
suites.
stadium,
Yes.
and it's going to be a private, exclusive experience in a suite with like
With food and booze.
Yes. So.
Can't promise the quality of the game will be as good as we hoped. We all started drinking scotch earlier, but we'll see what happens.
Who do we contact about that? Okay, I'll be your contact for the Gen Con games, and I'll be sending out all sorts.
Yeah,
of
emails will be
information on
going
that.
out, and you should keep your. Here's the problem: we are definitely having people because, like, we sent out for the people who got portraits for Gyzaengaxx, we sent out emails, like 4 of them. And a couple of people never got any of them because they all went to the spam folders.
Oh, okay.
So we've been pursuing other ways. We've been messaging through Kickstarter and all that. And I think we've gotten to everyone now at this point. But just if you be checking your spam folder for stuff from Gooey Cube, stuff from Camera Mandy, those kinds of things, if you know these things are coming, because the spam has been problematic for us in some of these conversations, trying to get hold of people.
Heather, so if you want to be a GM for Gooey Cube, I should have
Let's tell everybody. Let's give this
Yeah,
answer. This will be the last one we do.
there's an email, gooeygames@gooeycube.com, that you can reach.
gooeygames@gooeycube.com.
And you can see a Facebook post if you go to Gooey Cube. Gooey Cube's Facebook. There should be a Facebook post with all this information, and you will certainly have time to GM for us if you are still doing the Kickstarter experience. So
Absolutely.
yeah, there'll be plenty of time. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I think that I pretty much got everyone's questions. So the Gold Dust 51. Who is that?
Who's Gold Dust 51? These handles kill me.
I'm wondering if that's my mother-in-law. I don't know. I could be wrong because they say need an update on the number of views of your sword video, Queen Mandy. And the only person who I think knows that is Susan, who is my mother-in-law, because I posted.
Come clean, Susan. Tell us if it's you. Come clean.
So I posted it and on a Walt Disney group, and it got over 200,000 views.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, of course, because
I'm not selling anything. I was
did
like,
you
what?
show it, by the way, here in the den? We have to show it next week.
Yeah. Well,
So Camera Mandy goes to Disney World, right, and tries to pull the sword in the stone. Now, you need to understand that, like, once or twice a day, you can actually pull the stone, right? But literally hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people probably in a day go up and try to pull this damn the sword out of the stone, and it doesn't work. And damn Camera Mandy goes up there and pulls the damn sword right out. It's amazing.
Yes.
And
yeah.
your face
Lawrence
is
showed it
amazing.
last week. Lawrence showed it last week.
Oh, he did show it. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, and
Fantastic.
it's in the den if you want to watch it. But yeah, no, I thought at the end of this, I should have said, and go check out gooeycube.com. But then I thought if I had said that in the video, the algorithm would have caught that and never served it to 200,000 people.
Yeah, that's fun.
So anyway.
It's totally fun.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, we have gone 20 minutes long.
And thanks to everyone who stuck around with us.
Uh-huh.
Thanks to Ben and Suzanne for hanging out with us. So now we got guests coming up all over the place, right?
I know Paul's going to be on in just a couple weeks.
Yes, and we are
talking
going,
about Crovenloft.
and we're going to, Lawrence and Iad and I are going to Games and Stuff on February 8th and 9th, I believe. I believe that Saturday and Sunday we'll be there.
Ooh.
Saturday for the birthday celebration of Games and Stuff, and Sunday for the Gooey Day.
Oh my goodness, we got Raiders.
Raiders!
Hi,
Raiders!
Hello.
See, we hung around long enough that we ended up getting a raid.
I know. We're about to sign off all, but we appreciate you all
Who's
so
raiding
much.
us?
Is it Lord Gasumba? Is that who? Raider from Lord Gasumba. Thank you, Lord Gasumba and all your raiders. We appreciate you so much. I can try doing a raid, but to someone else's channel, but I don't know how to do it.
I
need a
think
channel to raid.
I think you need to do this, and we need to do it once a month.
Yes.
We need to do Gooey raiding.
Yes.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
And what we need to do is when we raid, we have to figure out how to give people a chance to win something. So we got to raid them and then tell whomever there is that if they want to win something, we do something. So we kind of support their stream as we raid them.
Yes, absolutely.
Lord Gasumba, thank you for
so
joining
much.
us. I don't know who that is, though. You know, this is what bothers me is these handles, because I can't keep track of them all, cameraman.
I feel like we raided Lord Gasumba a few weeks ago. I could be wrong. So anyway, sorry, we are old and crazy, so don't see
There's too much to remember.
Anyway,
all right.
Lord Gasumba says, Lord Gasumba says, surely you know me at GaryCon every year. This is a deep pause.
See, this is the thing that drives me crazy, cameraman.
Mm-hmm.
Because the digital gray cells, as Hercule Poirot says, there aren't as many as there used to be. All right. Well, we're going to go. Much love, my friends. May all your days be magnificent. May you have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us and being with us. Thank you for hanging with us when we go long. And Ben and Suzanne, thank you for joining us today. We got people coming up next week. Do we have people on next week, cameraman?
No, not next week. Sorry, Cassia says, you're not old, Mandy.
Nobody likes you, Cassius.
We appreciate you all so much.
All right.
Lord Gasumba, please send us a DM.
Yes, send us a DM.
Yeah, so that way we know who you are.
Yes, indeed.
And we'll raid you next week.
And we'll raid, we can do that next week.
Yeah, okay.
All right, my friends. Have a blessed day. May it be wonderful, filled with games. I'm gaming today with Jens. It's going to be so much fun.
Nice.
So may all your adventures be sticky. Right, cameraman?
Absolutely.
Bye-bye now.